Hello guys and ghouls, I'm your ghost of a host, Dave Morgan, and welcome to a spookifyingly Halloween special. Coming up, Staffordshire University's very own Paul Ottey will be on the show, giving us a recap on what he has been working on and what he is doing and what he is going to be doing in the future. Then we'll have another interview with musician Charles Hardy, then it goes all in on how and what he's been doing. Then we'll have an interview with social media officer of the VGS, who will be talking to us about the Video Game Society and their projects. First up, we have our film news.
So, to begin on films, Carrie, the reimagining of the original 1976 remake, same name, is about to hit screens across the country. The film is based on the classic Stephen King novel about a young woman who is tortured by her classmates and abused by her overly religious mother after blossoming into womanhood. However, all is not as it seems. Although already released in the States, it's set to be released on the 29th of November. Recently, the latest in the Chucky series has been released, Curse of Chucky. Follows on from the events of the last film, Seed of Chucky. 4 years have passed since Chucky is at it again, when he's received in the post by unsuspecting Nika. What follows is a series of seemingly accidental deaths until the culprit is discovered in the form of a disfigured child's toy. The film was released in the UK September 24th as a straight-to-video film and received mixed reviews. Now coming up, we have an interview with the one, the only, Paul Ottey. And take it away, guys.
Thanks, Becky. Joining me now is Paul Ottey. So, Paul, somebody has told me that you've been a busy little man over the summer. What have you been up to?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of stuff over the summer. We're currently shooting a series called Crimes That Shook Australia, and it's very interesting because we're actually shooting it in this country. So the challenge with that is to make Manchester look like Australia, which is good fun. But we're quite well practiced at it now because the Crimes That Shook Australia series is actually based on a series called Crimes That Shook Britain that we've been shooting for quite a long time now. We've done sort of 4 series of that. It was actually a series that was developed with my colleague Fiona Graham, who works at the university as well. And she pitched the idea of a series of crime programmes that were based around crimes that essentially changed British law. And she took it to an outside company and pitched it to Sky through the History Channel and got the commission based on a pilot which we did for the Hungerford massacre, which changed gun laws in this country. And the programmes are very much set up around the idea of getting really good access to people that were involved in the crimes, whether that's police that were involved in the investigations, whether that was victims of the crimes themselves. We had Stephanie Slater, who was kidnapped and held captive for a week by a guy who, I won't go into the details, but did all sorts of horrendous things to her through that, and she survived that ordeal. So getting access to those contributors was a really important part of that series. And as I say, that's run now for 4 series, so it's done really well. And one of the major sort of aspects of it is the fact that we have a lot of drama recons within those episodes as well. So we have to go out and we have to shoot drama style sort of sequences and segments, essentially for footage that we don't have. A lot of the time they're based around interview and archive. The drama recons fill out those aspects for us. And a lot of the times we're creating content that's historical as well. The last series that we put out had an episode that was based around Peter Sutcliffe, the Yorkshire Ripper in the 1970s. So we had to get the classic cars, we had to get the classic costumes in, we had to find locations that suited what we were doing as well. So some really interesting stuff. Also based off those series, we had a series called Britain's Biggest Heists, which we did 2 series of, essentially in the same format. One of the big programs we did with that was on the Great Train Robbery. And again, we're trying to find untold stories with those particular programs. So what Fiona managed to do in the development of that was she managed to get Bruce Reynolds, who was actually the mastermind of those crimes, involved. And he was, at the time, very old and very, very close to death. So being able to get him interviewed and get his side of the story across was absolutely fantastic. Wow. And then creating recons on a really big scale, so some really interesting stuff through those.
Yeah, sounds really interesting. What films or TV shows coming up are you looking forward to seeing?
Oh, crikey, that's a difficult one. I tend to look back a lot more. But at the moment, I'm just waiting to catch up with things like Game of Thrones and Walking Dead and stuff like that. Because I think it's really good now that a lot of the big American TV series are actually restraining themselves a little bit on the amount of episodes they create. One of the worst things that they did with things like 24, things like Lost, things like Heroes, is they had too many episodes. And now they're learning this aspect of containing themselves a little bit and having 8 or 10 really good episodes that you can get through in a sort of short period of time. In terms of films, not so much big blockbusters. I've missed a load of stuff at the cinema for a long time. I haven't even seen Pacific Rim or any of the big blockbusters from this summer yet, so I've got a lot of catching up to do. With the fact of being out and shooting stuff all the time means it limits my time to actually go and watch stuff at the cinema. Lots and lots of horror films obviously coming up at this sort of time. There's a film called Jughead, which has a very, very strange trailer. So a lot of the sort of smaller independent horror films are things that I like a lot of as well.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Paul, for joining us. Up now, we have Rebecca with the music news.
Moving swiftly on, Katy Perry's new album Prison launched this week, which has clawed its way to the top with such hits as Raw and Walking on Air. Katy Perry promised a complete change from her last album, going on to a brand new, more personal style. Her single Raw went straight to #1 when released, but has fallen to #4 this week. Miley Cyrus's album Bangers has charted at #11 this week after a number of controversial debates over her videos and her performances at the VMAs in New York. Her album includes songs such as We Can't Stop and Wrecking Ball, a track that has been parodied by many others, including Greg James from Radio 1. 5 of her videos have now become Vivo certified for gaining over 5 million views. These include 7 Things I Hate About You, Party in the USA, Can't Be Tamed, We Can't Stop and Wrecking Ball. Coming up next, we have an interview with Charles Hardy.
So I'm here with Charles Hardy now. So hi, Charles. What have you been up to then?
At the moment I'm writing a 5-track EP. It's part university project as my final year, and it's part just trying to make myself as an artist as well. And I've just been doing a few gigs here and there, really nothing big, just working on writing music at the moment.
Brilliant. Have you done EPs before, or is this your big?
No, it's my first big one. I've been writing tunes like for the past few years, but it's not really sort of collected to anything. It's just been random sort of genres and sort of getting a grip of things.
Put your favourite artists thrown in here and there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Who would you say is your favourite artist, or who's inspired you the most?
Mainly, I would say James Blake. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's awesome. Yeah, his vocals are just out of this world. He's sort of taken like the dubstep phase and made it his own, and he's sick on like the keyboard as well. It's just awesome. Yeah, and then. Alt J, like I really take the harmonies that Alt J use. Their vocals are just all over the place. It's crazy. Yeah. And then I've been quite inspired by a band called 07. Like they've got a sort of chilled vibe. It's nice. Brilliant.
So you're going to be singing a song for us later, aren't you?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us a bit about that? How it came about?
Well, I wrote it over the summer. I've sort of transferred it to an acoustic style. It was written sort of electronically and recorded and produced and stuff. So it's quite a sort of chilled out song. Just
brilliant. Yeah. We'll be hearing that later. So thank you for joining us, Charles. Up next we have Graphy on games.
On to games, and we look at the release of the sequel to the 2010 game Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Amnesia, A Machine for Pigs is a new story set in London at the turn of the 18th century with similar undertones to the first. This time, a mysterious figure kidnaps protagonist Oswald Mandus's children in an effort to make him fix the machine, whilst also avoiding terrifying man-pig creatures. The game was released 10th of September and has received generally positive reviews. Now back to Dave.
Hi again, so we are currently joined by James Ogunyale from the Game Society. So hi James, what have the VGS got coming up?
Well, in terms of events, we've got the LAN party next week, Friday to Sunday. We have a social the Pokemon and Ice Cream Social in the lounge tomorrow on Halloween. And we generally have Thursday and Saturday events for people just to come together and play games as they please.
Brilliant. Pokemon and ice cream.
Yeah, it was made by our events host. So he wanted to do a Pokemon social, and then our rep of the masses, or just our rep of the people, he thought, let's add ice cream so more people would come. And it generally received good views, feedback. So we've got a lot of people coming down to the lounge on Thursday.
Oh, brilliant. What is your number currently of members?
Number, I think we are on 250 something. We're trying to hit 300 at least by December.
Oh, you should easily get that.
Hopefully we do.
Given how many people on this campus plays video games anyway.
Everyone.
Yeah. What games are you looking forward to coming out soon?
Well, personally, I'm looking forward to WWE 2K14 to, you know, reenact what I watch on a weekly basis, and Call of Duty Ghost, which is the latest in the Call of Duty franchise, to see what they've done to improve the game during the year span they had.
Brilliant. Now this is your chance to try and persuade us non-gamers to go and buy a console. How would you persuade somebody like me to stop playing video games?
Well, I would say, you know, go on YouTube, find some gameplay videos, people commentating over some games, like Yogscast. They do some awesome Minecraft mods. So, you know, go check them out and then maybe pick up the game yourself if you're that interested in it. Or just download Steam, pick up some of the free-to-play games like Team Fortress 2, because everyone's on Team Fortress 2, and give it a go. And if you like it, you know, carry on gaming.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, James, for joining us.
Thanks a lot.
And thank you to you for tuning in to What's Next. Now, to play us out, we should have Charles Hardy with I Know It's Wrong.
But please don't shut the door. I know it's wrong, but I'll still just hit the wall. I do. I guess I wasn't wrong.